Now, just a little warning before we begin that there will be major spoilers in this video for the third episode of the Halo series. So, if you haven't seen it yet, don't want anything ruined, you know what to do. Click away, come back after you have seen it.
All right, episode 3, Emergence.
Is that what it was called? What was emerging? Certainly not anything interesting, right?
Cortana.
True. No, but I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. This might be the final review at this point. I don't know how much I'm into this right now. I mean, it's not terrible.
I'm so into this.
It's not terrible in and of itself if it wasn't Halo, but it's the same problem I had last week. There's virtually no action. It's all intrigue. And don't get me wrong, we can do intrigue in Halo, but there's no Halo. There's no...
Yeah, you're right. It was slow, but it was a little better because we saw the origin of the Blessed One. We saw
the Blessed One.
Whatever.
Exactly.
We saw Hunter.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. That was exciting for me.
That was the extent of the action when she takes over the ship.
Exactly. Action. Right
Otherwise,
there.
it's just Master Chief touchy-feely hour and
I really
coping with emotions.
Still wish we could somehow cut Quan out of this. I mean, I know we gotta go to Madrigal. It's gonna be really, really important. It's like how everything in Star Wars has to go back to Tatooine.
It just felt like a lot of filler, especially the beginning of the episode when we're injecting Cortana, and it's like, we'll show you this for 5 minutes, and then, we'll cut to this scene for 5 minutes, and then this for 5 more minutes, and it's like, oh my goodness, just put her in there already.
Jeez. I mean, it was interesting to see her talk to herself. I mean, to see how AI, how that would have... I mean, how many years are we away from something like that?
Probably
cloning
a lot closer
your own brain and...
Yeah, it's closer than they imply it is. I mean... Halo technology, I forget what year Halo takes place in, but it probably would have a lot crazier stuff than they do. But that's just the nature of a game. You don't want to make it where the humans have such crazy technology where they just obliterate all the aliens, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm curious what's going to forge the real bond between Master Chief and Cortana. Because as we can see, I mean, she's still kind of just following Halsey's directives.
There's just animosity. I don't like... I mean, like I said last time, can we just land on a Halo... Cortana and Master Chief exploration.
Gotta set it up.
A lot of action.
So many people wouldn't understand what's going on with... if you threw it in there, people wouldn't get it.
But here's the thing. The first Halo game, you get thrown in there with Cortana. You don't understand everything about her. You don't understand all this history. You're just...
They're trying to make something a little deeper for more than just the people who have read Halo and understand Halo.
No. But that my point is, you don't have to immediately. I mean, look at Star Wars, the perfect example of diving in. You don't need every bit of backstory. You just have an adventure. Couldn't we just start with an adventure instead of trying to set up like all of these things where
we did start with an adventure? We watched Madrigal get slaughtered.
That's not even an adventure, but you know what I mean. It's like
I do know what you mean.
Everything nowadays just feels the need to. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like complexity and an intriguing story. It's not that I don't like. I love that kind of stuff. But sometimes you can jump in and tell a story, and it doesn't have to be like 7 layers intertwining, and it can just be a really good story about a good character. And Master Chief is an amazing character. We wouldn't be sitting here today 20 years after the first game came out if Master Chief wasn't a great character.
Maybe that's something that's just wrong with the TV series nowadays in general. Think of what Game of Thrones did. Plots within plots within plots, and it was hugely successful. So everyone is trying to replicate that formula. I mean, the new Lord of the Rings is going to come up with that same problem. We already can see from just trailers it's going to be like 20 plots going on.
Of course. It's whenever Hollywood does something right, whenever somebody in Hollywood gets something right, everybody else just tries to copy it and tries to one-up it, and then they end up just making it worse. Mm-hmm. Like Game of Thrones was fantastic, especially the first multiple seasons. Fantastic. Some of the best TV you will ever see. So now everybody else feels like they need to do Game of Thrones level stuff. And then you have something like the MCU. Brilliant. I mean, it's not a new concept. Comic books have been doing it since the beginning of comic books, where you have this big shared universe and all these special characters that intertwine and cross over. And so now it feels like everything has to be like, we have to create a franchise out of something immediately. Just do Halo. Just do the game,
Well, then is the problem that they're trying to give everybody a motive. Everybody needs a story, and everybody needs a motive.
That's what I'm saying. It's like everything needs to be this huge franchise right out of the gate. Everything needs to be Game of Thrones level intrigue, and we can't just have a show anymore about, like I said, a Spartan crashing on a ring and uncovering the flood and what the Halo is. We can't just do that anymore. We can't just tell a simple story because there isn't 20 layers of intrigue, as if that's what everybody wants all the time.
It's just like they're trying to breach entertainment towards everyday life, where literally everyone in the world has their own motives, their own emotions, their own drive as to what they're going to do, and they're just bringing that into your television. Instead of just going, that's the bad guy, or this person is a scientist and they do science, they're trying to give every single character their own identity.
Yes, I mean, your main characters obviously need motivation, purpose, story arcs, good characterization, obviously, sure. But when you get to the point where you're trying to build like 15 characters, to have all this intrigue all the time, you don't always need to do that. Not every character needs to be, fleshed out entirely, and for me to know every motive and everything they've ever done. Like, you don't need to do that always.
What's funny is the character of Quan. She's just stupid.
Well, I'm not going to disagree, but
I know you're not
I'll take your explanation, though.
Think about it. She's desperate to get back to Madrigal. She saw that clearly the whole base, everything was destroyed. Everything there that was killed by the Covenant. Easy. The Spartans came, but she was the only survivor. She assumes, I'm going to go back to the planet, which is now under UNFC control. I'm going to somehow meet up with my dad's generals because I'm assuming they're not dead. She doesn't know if they're alive. She doesn't know if the UNSC, if the dude who took over, killed them, took them out, found them. She's assuming, there's a resistance and it's still doing well and I'm going to be part of it and I'll pay you to take me to the planet. She's not even taking into the fact that the consequences of Soren leaving. Soren leaves and gets to the planet and turns out she didn't have a mind. He's not going to get rich. What happens if he dies there? She has now robbed his family of him because she's stupid.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
Stupid emotional kid whose goal in life is to get herself killed. I'm going to Madrigal and I will make the difference. You're one person and you're a child. I'm sorry. It's not like you're a Spartan who's going to go tip the scales of the war. I'm one person who's going to show up there and somehow liberate the planet? How is she going to do it? I mean, honestly, show, you better not do it that way. I will be very upset if somehow that doesn't.
Brace
because
for impact.
It shouldn't. Unless
a lot of things shouldn't.
No. So this is one of the another tip on the scale here is why I do not like the character of Quan yet.
She serves no real purpose. If we eliminate her from the story, what is different? I mean, we save some runtime.
We're all about that runtime, aren't we?
Well, bloating it, yeah. Getting as many episodes as possible.
Right, they don't even need her. I mean, there's enough content without there being...
There would be if they would just focus on a couple characters' story and just, I don't know.
Just like the Spartans we're all like, yeah, the Spartans are going to support John through anything. They even said that to him. But then the blonde one keeps looking at him sideways like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, no, don't ruin Spartan unity.
Betrayal around every corner and mistrust, and that's just what the show has been so far. It's everybody plotting against each other secretly. Even Cortana and Master Chief can't trust each other. We couldn't have that, could we?
I think that they're going to establish that they're going to be a solid relationship.
Well, of course, they will in time,
obviously, but Cortana, I mean, she got the raw deal. Does she remember what happened to her before she was put in, became an AI? Who knows? Maybe she will.
So.
Doesn't seem like it. They just wanted her brain to be an AI, so they may not have taken her memories.
I mean, she does have the feel of Cortana. I'll give it that. Some of the things she says feel like Cortana. I mean, it might be the best representation of a character from the game thus far in the show.
Not until she shows up in his hand.
Well, sure, but I mean, I do get the Cortana vibe, and maybe that's just me, but I do. I mean, at this point, Master Chief, John is just... I don't even know what we're doing with him. We're taking him on, like I said, this emotional, touchy-feely journey.
He's trying to become Master Chief, the one that we knew, the one who has feelings and emotions and
but they did it. They don't understand that you don't have to give him now we can have emotions now because we took out the chip, and he's going to be this important part of the universe because it can touch the artifact and remember the keystone and can remember it. And no, that's not what makes John great. That's not what makes Master Chief great. It's that he was kind of this blank slate that you could throw yourself into, and over time he developed into his own character. I mean, that was kind of the great part of it, at least in my opinion. That's one of the great parts of his story. He's an insert yourself into the game type character who slowly but surely becomes something far more. And this, they're like, well, we got to make him special. We got to do all these things with him. Like, no, you could have you could have tried to do that where he was at the start, the insert character, where again you drop him on the Halo like the first game, and he's more or less a blank slate that slowly but surely becomes something, instead of he's the key to everything in the universe, along with this other human that the Covenant have.
I just can't wait till we see more of the Covenant. I mean, we've seen the elites, and that's it. Well, the elites and the prophets.
Yeah, well, we've seen the little snake guys today, too.
And the pieces of the hunter.
Yeah.
But I want to see jackals. I want to see grunts.
I want to see grunts.
I want to see brutes.
At least we got a grunt name drop. So
yeah, well, I know that the crazy guy from last week was originally like in the
he was going to be
stuff,
he was supposed
to be a jackal.
Yeah.
But I want to see the aliens. I want to see more of the guns.
What? See aliens? See guns?
We'll get it. We'll get it. They're saving it. I don't know why. I mean, we aren't even halfway through yet.
What do you think this is like, based on a shooter game? Aliens and guns and running around doing cool things?
Next week is the halfway point for Halo.
Yeah, halfway point indeed.
Think of it this way. Think of it like how when we watched Attack on Titan, you have to watch like 8 episodes of training, and it's kind of boring.
You cannot compare that, because anime,
we don't know.
Anime is a whole other beast upon itself. Anime is going to have whole episodes of exposition or recap or just diving into a character, and that's what anime does.
So
and if you don't like that,
that's why I'm enjoying Halo more than you. You're spoiled.
No, I'm not spoiled. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is based on Attack on Titan. It's its own. I mean, it's based on the manga and all that, but I mean, it's its own thing, right? But Halo has 20 years of history here. It was something before it was a show on Paramount. So when you don't honor 20 years of history, you're going to get people, even me, who was I'm a Halo fan, love the games and all that, but I'm not like a love Halo kind of guy. And I'm just disappointed. This isn't what I want to see out of Halo. I want some action. I want aliens. I want cool rings, and I want the flood. And I don't know.
It's coming. You just gotta be patient a little longer. You gotta be patient.
I don't know. It's not. Nah, I got nothing else. Unless you do.
No, I'm good this week.
All right. Well, I mean,
I probably forgot more about the episode because I'm just kind of exhausted.
Well, that's no excuse. You should have been on the edge of your seat, enthralled by everything happening. Or not happening.
My brain is a blank with so much amazing information.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, that's all we've got for this time. Now it's your turn to take to the comments below. Am I being way too hard on the series? This is pretty good. And like I said, in and of itself, maybe not a bad show, but I don't know that this is a good Halo series. But maybe you disagree, so do that in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching.